Hey guys, this is Jules. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my technique for accenting with foil. Now, you can do this on your business cards, product labels, thank you cards, care cards, stickers, planner stickers, anything like that. Be sure to stop by my website. The link is down below at thejuleboxstudios.com for additional information and detailed pictures, as well as product links. So let's get started. From my last project, I saved a lot of images for the Coco Chanel project that I did. So I'm going to grab quite a bit of those to play with today. In PicMonkey, I'm going to grab this book stack image and I'm going to remove the background. I'm going to go to the graphics section and look for some splatters. I want to add a splatter effect to this image. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it, but then I'm going to also choose them both and group it together to make it one solid layer. And then I'm going to adjust the size. I'm going to get out of this image, choose it again, and then go to edit a copy. What I want to do is separate it. So I'm going to make this the book stack only and take out the splatters, save that image, get out, go into the original again and make that the splatter image only. And I'm going to save that. The next thing we're going to do is go into a new project. I'm going to go all the way down to print sizes and choose a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 template, so that I can make my product label. You can also use this to do your business cards or care cards, anything that you'd like. I'm going to start off with a frame and I'm just going to play with the design just a little bit, add some fonts. I'm going to try different ones. PicMonkey also has some samples that you can use if you want to and go off of that, which is a great idea to kind of help inspire. Now I'm liking these fonts here. I was going to use the Tall, Dark, and Handsome, but I decided not to. I'm going to go with this Roman Antique font. Now this Sydney one is really skinny and it's not going to work with the foil. The foil won't stick too well to this. So I'm going to look for another one. I really like the Bombshell Pro font. This is not our actual label. I'm just playing with a different design. So one of the tips for this technique for foiling is having multiple layers, because you need to print your color on your inkjet and then what you're going to foil on your laser jet. The best element that I use is creating a base for every single image with multiple layers. With this particular image, I'm going to create 4 different layers. I'll exit here, pick the image again, and edit a copy. I'll create this layer just being the foil layer that we'll use, taking the color away, unlocking that white background, choosing it and deleting it, making it a transparent background. I'll exit out, choose the original, edit a copy, and making this one the colored layer, taking the foiled layer out, making it a transparent background. And then here you see off camera, I did 2 layers with the background and 2 without. We're going to open Procreate and I'm going to choose one of the perfume bottles. What I want to do is create a secondary layer separate from the image, and using the technical pen, I'm going to go in and embolden the leaves. I'll make them thicker and darker so that they pop when I foil them. Making this secondary layer means that I can print it by itself using the laser printer, then foiling that on top of the image, which is what I'm going for. I'm also going to be speckling in the center of one of the flowers. Then I'm going to go ahead and trace a little bit around the bottle. Now my goal here is to make it look like a hand sketch and to make it thick enough where the foil will pop, but still leaving some of the gold that's already showing from the image. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm just going to go ahead and save that layer, and that's what it looks like there. This next image is another perfume bottle. I'm going to go ahead and use the same tools and stipple in all of the centers for the poppies. And I'm just going to make sure that I am in a second layer. I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little bit lighter than the round bottle, not so bold around the frame, but still enough to have some of the foil pop on there. And I'm just going to check, and I'm going to go ahead and just stipple in a little bit darker in the centers of the flowers. And I think I'm done there. I'm going to go ahead and just save this layer, and I'm going to start on the next one. This double flower, I'm just going to do a nice petite dainty outline around the petals, then inside and around the leaves. This will just give it a nice soft outline, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in the flower centers. I'm going to save that, and here are all of my images. Now we're going to go ahead and open Cricut Design Space. We're going to start with our parameters page, which is 6.75 by 9.25, and I'm going to put it in a yellow. We're going to transfer my images 1 by 1, because that's how Cricut likes it. And these will be a print and cut image for every single one. Once they're in, I will choose every single one, and I'm going to pull them all over into the canvas, and we're going to set them all down here, and we're going to start with the label first. And I still need to grab the other layer, but here is the transparents and the ones with the colored layers. Here's where we talk about the importance of having a base or a single layer background. To achieve the technique, we always want our foil layer to sit on top of our colored layer. For these layers to print correctly, separately, they need a base to anchor them. If not, this is what happens. Without a base, Cricut sees each layer as something to cut out instead of something to cut around. And it prints so ugly. All right, so let's go back into Cricut Design Space and we're gonna do a sample. This is a separate project that I'm starting. I'm gonna show you here how we came across that ugly cut. First, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the backgrounds or hide them. And I'm going to grab these two here just because I want to show you that these two layers with the white background could work once you layer them on top of each other, because you're already going to be printing them separately. That could be fine. But when we put this transparent on top of the colored image, it will print and cut how we showed you in that picture, because you will have to print it by itself. Now these two transparent layers up on top, because there's no base, Cricut will see the outside square to cut and the inside square to cut, as well as the font. So let's go and get rid of the foil layer by itself, and we're going to join these two, or attach these two. These are attached and this one is attached as well. So I'm going to grab the whole thing, attach it. We're going to hide the foil layer and we're going to show the color layer because we're going to print those first. So let me grab the whole thing and attach that. We're going to save it with another name so it's a separate project, and then we're going to go ahead and make it. And we're going to go and continue. We're going to select our Cricut and send to the printer. Now we're using for this layer our HP inkjet. And this is what it looks like. So because there's nothing to anchor our images, Cricut is going to want to cut out the layers instead of cutting around them. All right, so let's choose these and flatten those. We're going to go ahead and show the foil and hide the color to print those. Grab them, attach and flatten again. I saved it. We'll go to make it, send it to the printer. This time we're going to use the Brother laser printer. Okay, I'm going to put that first print into the laser printer, and then here comes the laser print on top of my color images. Not good. Now to complete this example, I'm going to go ahead and put it through the Cricut, and it is doing exactly what I had showed you. It's cutting out the laser frame and the letters. It's a hot mess. I can't even watch anymore. It hurts. It hurts. As you can see, it just doesn't look right. So yeah, we're gonna do this again. Let's go back to Cricut. We're gonna go back where we started before the hot mess happened, and I'm gonna just create my bottom base for all of my stickers. So we're gonna do the label first, starting with the base, then the color layer, then the foil layer. Then we're gonna grab them all and attach it. I'm just gonna make sure too that all three layers are there, and in the gray they show that they're together, so they are attached. They're one piece. So now I'm gonna move it over to my parameters page. And for the rest of these are a little bit different. We're going to use the offset as our base layer. And I'm going to align this, but I lost the clip. I don't know what happened. But I aligned it and sized it to what I wanted. I'm using the offset at 0.1 because I like the distance that it gives. I like the border that it gives, the base size I like. So I'm going to apply that. It automatically turns black, but we're going to turn it back to white. Grab it all, attach it. Make sure that the layer's there, including that new base, and move it over to the parameters page. Same thing with the rest of them. This, I don't know why I turned it upside down, but it's either way, it's the same way. We're going to use the same measurements for the offset. Again, change the color, and I'm going to move it over. I do end up adding off camera some splatters to that. This one here, I'm just going to align it, size it right, actually move it to the very top. I'm going to size it to fit on top of the flowers how I want, with the same measurements at 0.100. Apply it when it grabs on, and then I'm just going to shift that over just a tiny bit because this one was a little bit off to me. This is the book stack only, and I'm just gonna settle with putting these splatters on top of it for now, kind of where I want. I end up changing this later and I'll show you why. Now I'm grabbing the colored image to do the offset for. I don't want it to go around the dots or the splatters. So same thing, I attached it and just moved it over to the parameters page. This one I'm just gonna align it right on top, fitting exactly where I want it to fit. I'm gonna go and grab the double C's, make a duplicate, and shrink it to put it on the bottle. Now we're going to use the offset option again with 0.100 and apply that, and we're going to change the color to white. Choose it and attach it. Make sure the layers are there, all 4. Move it over to the parameters page. And then I want to try something else. I don't want to get rid of those flowers, those 3 flowers. I wanted to duplicate the book stack, and I'll redo it again. But I want to put those 3 flowers behind it. I just want to do 2 different versions of the stack of books with the splatters. I'm going to choose the splatter layer and duplicate it. And I think I'm just looking for more texture. Or I'm going to duplicate the book stacks. I'm going to scoot the splatters over so I can make that secondary, or the first one that I had made. I'm going to choose the color layer, and I'm going to do the offset again, change it to white, capture all 3 and attach. Now I'm going to scoot all these over just so I can make room for the other sticker. Now one thing that I found out is if you choose 2 images, you can do an offset for the entire thing without them being attached. These were separate images to begin with, which is really cool. So I'm just going to fit the splatters to just situate them inside of the photo. And there's going to be some that's outside of it, which Cricut is going to look at something to cut all those little dots out, but it doesn't matter because I'm cutting the entire sticker out, so you won't even see those. Then we're going to grab all of them and attach it. Then we're going to go in and hide all of the layers that we want to foil. Remember that we want the foil to be on top of our colored images for that nice pop and high-end look. Just make sure that your colored images and your white base layer is the one that is showing. Once you've hidden those layers, then we're going to choose them all, and they're already attached, so we'll just flatten it, save it, and make it. Once they're on the canvas there, we'll just hit continue. We'll choose our Cricut machine, and then we're going to choose our HP inkjet printer. We're going to use the system dialog, continue, choose the best quality, and I'm going to do 2 prints. And here we are, just the color layer, no laser printed yet. Let's go back into Cricut. We're going to cancel the cut, go back in, we're going to unflatten, and on the right sided panel we're going to go and see the layer that we're going to foil, and then we're going to hide the colored layer, still leaving the base for each sticker. Remember that the idea here is to print the foil layer on top of our colored layer that we just printed. All right, we're going to choose them all and flatten. We're going to save it just in case, and then we're going to go to make it, do the same thing, but this time we're going to choose the Brother laser printer. In the settings, I'll choose 1 copy, thick paper, and then I will go ahead and print. And this is what this looks like. We're going to take it to the table to talk about it. In my experience over the last 2 years, the foil layer has always dropped just a tad. And if we go lower, we'll see the book stacks here. Now the splatters are outside of the offset base, and those are dots that Cricut is going to want to cut out. But because I'm going to be cutting these out individually, they're not going to show, and I have a technique to show you with that. Now, if you were going to be printing these stickers with its base on a backing, then they would show as normal. Let's look at the perfume bottles at the very top. You can see that the centers are dropped a little bit, and you can see the actual real centers from the colored image, as well as the bottom of the bottle. The curvature at the bottom of the bottle is not matching with the original, so we're going to fix that. The next bottle, you see that the leaves here on the right side are a little bit detached, which is fine. We're going to be fixing that. And you can see too that the sketches around the circular bottle are dropped and they're not lined up with the gold line of the original image. You can see the little leaves on the back side of the layers there too. The label or business card, you'll see that the word no label is almost touching the top of that frame, and down below where it says by women for women, there is a nice big gap between that and the frame. So we are going to lift the foil layer up just a little bit on all of these. Perfect alignment is so achievable, you guys. Stick with me. In Design Space, we're going to unflatten and detach all 7 stickers, then detach all of one sticker's layers. From the right-sided panel, we're going to choose one of the foil layers, and then we're just going to adjust the size. You'll notice they're all detached now. I'll just change the shape a little bit, and then I will go in and attach it, but then I have to go back in later because I ended up attaching it without the colored layer. I'll fix that later with these 2 book stacks and the bundle with the double C's on it. All I'm going to do is shrink it a little bit. There's still going to be some splatters that are outside of the lines, but here's the next day, and you can see that I've already put in the colored layers, and so I'm going to go and continue with the next set. Now I've detached the 3 layers for this flower, and I chose the foil layer and I scooted it up as much as I think that it was already misaligned. Once I do that, I choose them all, reattach it, go up to the perfume bottles. For this black one, I detach all the layers. I choose the foil layer and scoot it up as much as I think that it had misaligned. Choose it all again and attach it, being very careful not to move or shift the positions of all of the stickers. That is very, very important. The last one I do the exact same thing to and scoot it a little bit up, and then we're reattaching it. Now I'm gonna scoot back and grab all of the 7 stickers, attach it, then very carefully I will go and unsee all of the color images, leaving only the foil layer. We're gonna choose them all and they're already attached, so we're just gonna flatten, save, and then make it. And this is what they're looking like now. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. The images on the left will be from the first print, the ones on the right will be from the second print. And you can see the labels here. The word no label is not as close to the top of the frame as they were. You can see that the leaves here on the rose are more detached than the ones on the right, and you can still shift them a little bit more if you want to. You can shift that a little bit to the left just to make it a little bit more aligned. With the black bottle, you can tell that the centers are more covered with the speckles that I made, and then the bottom of the bottle, you can also tell that it's more aligned on top of the actual lines that were there to begin with. The double flowers also show that they are a lot more aligned. I can also shift that a little bit more to the left. Now this is like your first pancake. I would rather go through 2 or 3 prints that are not perfect to get the perfect one so that I can print 100 sheets of the perfect aligned ones. Now for this sticker, you can tell that the speckles are more inside of the image versus on the outside. And for the sake of the video, I'm not going to go in and realign these. I'm ready to just foil them because they're close to the alignment that I want anyways. So I'm just going to go through my foil box and trim all of these sheets to size. Now the easiest way to cut foil is putting it on a self-healing mat with a rotary cutter and trimming them down to size. To make sure that I have them completely covered, I do 2 at a time to make sure that they're on the foiled layers really well. Now I'm going to run them through the Make machine on heat setting number 4 because they're going through the plastic and a sheet of copy paper. If you notice any black speckles on the foil, you probably need to go up on another setting or not use the plastic folder at all, but here they are. Oh my god, these are so beautiful. I would much rather lose 2 or 3 copies so that I can get the most perfect alignment, because it is possible, you guys. For your products, this is an upscale look. Now these are nearly perfect. I would say 98% perfect. You can see the speckles are on the outside, but again, I'm going to cut these out individually and you won't even be able to see the splatters on the outside of your base layer. But see how pretty and dainty that is? I'm so ready to cut these out. Let's get these on the mat. Now these are my normal steps for printing and cutting: die cuts, my product labels, business cards, backing cards, thank you cards, care cards, anything you may need for your business or for just crafting. Let's get these off the mat and let's get a closer look. Let's start with the book stack. This one has a light speckled foil. Let me just turn it just right so you can see it's very light. The ones with the flowers on the background, these are a little bit bigger, but you can always hand draw your speckles if you want to, or use a different template. As you saw, PicMonkey had several to choose from. This 2-flower bouquet came out exactly how I wanted it to, just a soft outline with the centers filled in. This perfume bottle came out really cute. Now again, I could have shifted it over to the left a tiny bit more, but I'm really happy with how it came out. The sketching around the bottle also came out pretty nice. Now the bouquet with the double C's, I just shrunk this a little bit and you can't see the speckles too much. Again, this is something that you can make more prominent with a different pattern or hand drawing them in yourself. Now this could be your product label or your business card, a thank you card, a price tag, whatever it is that you want. Man, I'm really liking that Bombshell Pro font. This black perfume bottle, you can see the bottom curvature lines up with the image one. And then there's speckles in the flower centers, but that's because I speckled them in with the eye pencil. It looks similar to the centers that were there. These are so beautiful. I'm very proud of how they came out. Now another thing that you can do is laminate your stickers. Let me show you the other sheet that I did. I'm going to use gold foil for this sheet. The previous set of stickers were made with rose gold foil. So I'm going to laminate those and we're going to go ahead and take them off, and they look just as pretty. Now I'm going to show you each sticker because once I put the clear vinyl, the glare is not going to let you see the foil very well. So let me show you up close each individual sticker or die cut or business card. You can make planner stickers, you can make anything that you want with this technique. But they came out so pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put some of the vinyl on there. I'll show you how I do that. So I found this roll of clear vinyl on Amazon, and I'll link that at my website. The link to that is down below. I just cut it to size to fit within the parameters page. And then I just take a little bit off of the edge and line it up as best as I can using a squeegee, and I recommend one with a felt or a wool end to get the bubbles out because it does scratch your vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut them out, and then I'll show you what they look like after. And you can still see the foil, but once you get to where some of the lighter foiling is, it's kind of hard to see. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope this was super helpful to you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and please subscribe. Links to my website and supplies and everything is down below. Thanks again, you guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.